Hello and welcome. My name is Mardi and I'm a teacher at Stride and Edge. So this class is going to be around 30 minutes. It's all about that beginner's mind. So if you are a beginner, if you are a complete newbie to yoga or to Vinyasa yoga, then this is the class for you. Or if you have been doing yoga for a bit and you just kind of want to get back to that beginner's mind, this is also such a great place to start. We're going to strip it all the way back, find those basics with that Vinyasa yoga. So please let me know in the comments if you are a complete newbie and this really worked for you, or if you just wanted to find that beginner's mind once again. Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and share. It really helps us out. So I hope you enjoy and I'll meet you back on the mat. Today's class we're going to start in child's pose. So child's pose, we can come more towards the back of the mat and you either have your knees together or you can take your knees just slightly apart, those toes touching, sink the heels, sink the hips back towards the heels and then bring the arms out in front. And this is your typical resting pose in Vinyasa classes or in any yoga classes. If this does not feel like a resting pose to you, if it's sore in your feet, and you can just slightly ease off a little bit. But we're just going to give ourselves this time at the beginning of class to just arrive at the practice, which means we just become a little bit more focused on ourselves, on our breath, and our body. Just forgetting about the outside world, forget about what you've got to do or what you've been doing this morning. This is just your time to focus on yourself. So I want you to close your eyes and then just start to notice that breath coming in through the nose, feeling it go all the way down into the belly and all the way into the back, feeling the back expanding out into the room. And then as you exhale, long exhale out through the nose, letting all the breath fly out. And again, big inhale in through the nose. See if you can take in a little bit more air, really fill the lungs up. And then long exhale out through the nose. Couple more like this, slowing that breath down. Inhale. See how long you can take that inhale in. And then slow exhale out through the nose. This time on your next inhale, I want you to start to walk the hands all the way over towards the right hand side. So the hands can come all the way off the side of the mat. So you start to feel this big stretch through that left hand side of the body. Take a big inhale here into the ribs. And exhale to stay. And then inhaling, walking the hands all the way back through center, over towards the left hand side this time, reaching those hands out towards the left. And again, big breath into the ribs, inhale. And exhale to stay. Starting to find a little bit more space in that body. Bringing the hands now back through center. This time I want you to look forwards in between the hands. We're going to slide all the way through onto our belly, staying nice and low down towards the mat. We're going to come all the way onto our belly. The toes are untucked. From here, the hands underneath those shoulders. We start to activate the lower back, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat. I want you to start to lift the chest, gently pressing into those hands. Just check in, make sure those shoulders are rolling back and down, so you're not hunching up in your shoulders up to your ears, but they're rolling away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, lower back down towards the mat, chin towards the mat. And again, inhale, gentle pressure through those hands. Start to lift the chest, finding this back bend. Exhale, back down. And again, inhale, lifting. Can you lift a little higher? Remember, shoulders away from the ears, lift the chin. Exhale, back down towards the mat. From here, pressing through those hands and the knees, we're going to come into a tabletop position in the middle of our mat. So our hands are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips, Then I want you to spread the fingers out wide, so all 10 fingers are gripping down into the mat. Just gently start to rock forwards and backwards here. We're going to warm up the wrists. So you'll notice that we spend a lot of time on our hands. Sometimes our wrists can start to ache a little bit. So it's just really important to warm those up. So rocking forwards and backwards. You can flip the right palm. Rocking forwards and backwards. And then switching, flip the left palm. Gently stretching into those wrists, into those forearms. And then bringing those hands back down into that neutral position. So fingers spread, hands underneath the shoulders. We come into our cat-cow, so finding some space in the spine. We inhale, scoop the belly down, start to lift the chest and the chin, drawing the shoulders back, inhale. And then as we exhale, press down through those hands, we round the spine, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. And again, inhale, we drop the belly down, lift the chest. Exhale to round the spine, really press down through those hands, tucking the chin, find space between the shoulder blades. Moving with the breath, inhale, drop the belly down, lift the chest. Exhale to round the spine, press down through those hands. And then from here, coming back to that flat back, that tabletop position, we can just find a little bit of a wiggle with those hips, with those shoulders, finding space in those ribs. And then when you're ready, we're going to tuck the toes underneath, press through the hands and the feet, start to lift the knees, lift the hips all the way up and back. We're going to find our first downward facing dog. The downward dog, we want those hips nice and high, we want the back nice and flat, so we're going to bend into those legs, making sure we're not rounding in our spine. If we are, just bend the legs a little bit more, so we can really lengthen out through that back. Press through those hands, making sure we're not hunched up in those shoulders. The shoulders are rolling away from the ears. You can shake your head, release the neck. Inhaling here. Exhale to stay. The feet are hip distance apart. We can start to walk through the feet. So drawing one heel down at a time, stretching out through the backs of the legs, stretching all the way through the feet into the toes, calves, the hamstrings. Inhaling and exhaling. And then planting those feet back down, hip distance apart. We're going to inhale, rock all the way forwards, find our high plank position, shoulders over the wrists, core nice and engaged, finding this high plank pose. Exhale, we take the gaze forwards. I want you to lower the knees down, but keep that core engaged. We find a chaturanga. Elbows come back, this half little push-up, strong in those triceps. And then pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat, flipping on those feet. Press through those hands. We find upward facing dog. Upward dog, we want the whole body lifted off the ground. So you're pressing through the hands and the feet, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale. As we exhale, squeeze the core, lift the hips all the way up and back. Flip back onto the feet. We find that downward facing dog once again. Don't worry if it's a little confusing. We'll do a few more of those in the class. Inhaling here. Exhale to stay. From here, we inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky, finding three-legged dog. As we exhale, I want to bend the knee and open up the hip. As we open up the hip, you want that right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. Almost like you want to open the chest towards that right-hand side. Inhale here. And then as we exhale, you take that right foot and you're going to bring it all the way through to the outside of the right hand. Big step up, drop the back knee down, untuck the toes. Working into the hips a little bit here. We're going to take that right foot, turn the toes out just slightly, 45 degrees. And then we activate that foot, so flexing that foot, roll onto the outside blade of that right foot and let that knee fall out towards the side. Notice now how you start to feel this opening in that outer hip. And then you can take that right hand and just gently start to press it on the inside of that knee or that thigh. And feel like your chest is opening up a little bit more towards that right hand side. Inhale here. Just make sure that that foot is nice and flexed. Exhale to stay. Look back down towards the mat. Bring that right hand back down. Turn the right toes to face the front of the mat. And then from here, I want you to take that right hand and bring it to the outside of that right foot now. So we find ourselves in this more low lunge. You might want to bring that right foot in just a little bit closer so it feels a little bit more comfortable. And then from here, we're going to start to lift the chest, bring your hands on top of that knee. Feeling like you want to take the chest away from that thigh, sinking those hips down. Inhale here. And then as we exhale, we straighten that front leg, shift the weight back. Flex that front foot, bring those hands down. We'll find this half split. So real feeling this opening in the back of the leg. Inhale and exhale. Moving backwards and forwards now. We inhale, shift forwards, plant that front foot, bend into that front leg. Bring those hands back up on top of that knee. Inhale. As we exhale, come back to that half split. Straighten that front leg, folding down, flex that front foot. And again, inhale, come forwards, that low lunge, bring those hands on top of that knee. And exhale, back to that half split. This time we inhale, come forwards, plant those hands, tuck the back toes, step straight back to your downward dog. Start to walk through the feet. You may notice a difference from one side to the other. Inhale and exhale. So just going through the other side, we inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale to bend the knee, open up that hip. So when you open up that hip, that left knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhaling here. As we exhale, step that left foot all the way to the outside of that left hand. Big step up, drop the back knee down and tuck the toes. Working into that hip now, we start to turn those left toes out slightly. Flex the foot and roll onto the outside blade of that left foot, letting that knee fall out towards the side. And if you want, you can apply a little bit of pressure with that left hand, opening up that chest. Nice. Inhale and exhale. Sinking into that hip a little bit more. Inhale and exhale. Look down towards the mat now. Bring those hands back down. Toe heel that left foot in slightly so it's a little bit closer towards the middle of the mat. And then we can bring that left hand to the outside of that foot. Finding that low lunge now, you start to lift the chest, bring the hands on top of that knee, sink those hips down, feeling the stretch through that front right hip flexor. Inhaling here, lift the chest. As we exhale, shift the weight back, straighten that front leg, folding down, half splits, flex that front foot. Backwards and forwards. Inhale, come forwards, lift the chest, bring those hands up. And exhale, take it back, half splits. Folding down, really flex the foot, feel the stretch in the back of the leg. One more time, inhale, forwards, low lunge. Big breath in, exhale, take it back, half splits. This time we inhale, come forwards, plant those hands, tuck the back toes, step straight back to your downward facing dog. Walking through those feet once again. And then now we'll start to walk the feet all the way up towards the top of the mat. Take your time, we're going to meet in a forward fold. You can have a little bend in the legs. Just release those hands. And then just hang the body over. So start to shake the head. Shake the arms. Everything is nice and loose. Inhale. And exhale. Rolling up to standing now. Take your time. We're going to come all the way up to standing. The head comes up last. Feeling this nice alignment in the spine. When you get there, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Arms by the sides, palms facing forwards. Finding our mountain pose, a strong pose here. Fingertips reaching down, crown of the head reaching up, strong in those legs. Inhale and exhale. From here, I want to bring the feet together. Those toes are touching, heels slightly apart. We're going to come into our sun salutation A. So we inhale, bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. As we exhale, we forward fold, hinging at the hips, down towards the ground. On your inhale, slide the hands up the shins, finding this flat back, halfway lift. As we exhale, we plant the hands, step back to high plank position, strong core. Inhaling here. As we exhale, we take that chaturanga, so you can lower the knees down, core strong, elbows back in line with your ribs, half little push-up. Flipping onto the tops of the feet, press through those feet and the hands, find upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. Inhaling here, exhale to stay. And again, inhale. And exhale. There's a little bit of stillness now. Inhale here. This time on your exhale, we bend the knees, look between the hands. You can step or walk or even hop the feet all the way up towards the top. We inhale, find a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, we fold again. Squeeze that core, draw yourself down. Inhale to roll up to standing, bringing the arms up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, bring the palms at the chest. So that's one round, we go again. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, slide the hands up the shins, find that flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, you can step back to your high plank, strong core, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering onto the knees, or keep them lifted, we find that half push-up, elbows in line with the ribs. Flipping onto the tops of the feet, press through the hands and the feet, find upward facing dog, your back bend. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, find downward facing dog. 3 long breaths here, inhale. And exhale. Any point you want to take that child's pose, you can do. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath, inhale here. As we exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands. You can step, walk, or even hop the feet up. We inhale, find a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rolling up to standing, bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, bring the palms at the chest. From here, we inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, take that forward fold. Moving with the breath. Inhale, find a halfway lift once again. Exhale, this time a little different. Plant the hand, step the left leg back only. Big long step all the way towards the back of the mat. Strong through those legs. We inhale, stand up. We're going to find a high lunge. Bring those arms up. You may feel a little wobbly. Core nice and engaged. Reach those arms up. Bending into that front leg. Getting this stretch through that front hip flexor once again. Inhale. As we exhale, I want to drop the back heel down so that back foot is parallel with the short edge of the mat. And we open those arms up, finding our warrior 2. So we want to bend into that front leg. Feel this hip opening, so you want to encourage that right knee out towards the side. It's not falling in. Taking the gaze forwards, chest nice and open towards the left. Inhale. Exhale to stay. And then flip that front palm. Reach that arm all the way up and slightly reach it towards the back of the room. So we start to find this big stretch in those ribs. It's called reverse warrior. Inhale and exhale. And then from here, come back to your warrior 2. Strong through that core, gaze forwards, bending into that front leg. Inhaling here. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Frame that front foot. We take a vinyasa. So we step back to our high plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower the knees or keep them lifted. That half push-up. Onto the tops of the feet. Find upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Keep moving. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees. Look between the hands. You can step, walk, or hop the feet up. We inhale, find a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rolling up to standing, bring the arms up overhead. And exhale, palms at the chest, other side. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find that flat back. Exhale, plant the hand, step the right leg back this time. Big step all the way to the back of the mat. Strong through those legs now. Find that stability first to slowly rise into your high lunge. Lift those arms, inhale. Exhale to stay, bending into that front leg, back heel drawing behind you. Inhale here. Exhale, we then drop the back heel down so the foot's parallel with the short edge of the mat. Open the arms out, find your warrior two. Bending into that front leg, gaze forwards, feeling strong here, inhale. And exhale. Reverse warrior, we then flip that front palm, reach that arm all the way up and back. And that lovely stretch in those ribs, inhaling here. Exhale to stay. This time, inhale, come back to your warrior two, strong through that core, gaze forwards. Exhale, we find that vinyasa, so windmill those hands down. Step back through your high plank, inhaling, strong core. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows back. Inhale to your back bend. Upward facing dog, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Now here I want to bring the knees down, untuck the toes, take the hips back towards the heels. Find that child's pose. Start to focus back in on that breath. You may have lost it, it's okay. Just notice that inhale now. And that exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. This time now, we need to start to roll all the way up. Bring that chest up. So you find yourself kneeling at the back of the mat. And then start to roll onto the outside of your left hip. Bring the legs out in front. And those legs stretched out in front. You can pull all that lovely fleshy bit from underneath so you're really sat on your sit bones. From here, we inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And then as we exhale, we start to take a forward fold. So reaching that chest forwards. I want you to try and not round through your back too much. So keep that back nice and flat. If that means that you don't reach that far forwards, that's okay. Just bring those hands down, back to the knees, or the calves, the ankles. Maybe those hands can reach down towards the feet. But wherever we are, we want to keep that back nice and flat. Feeling the stretch in the back of the legs. Inhale. And exhale. Can we fold a little bit more? And again, inhale. And exhale to fold. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. Slowly now, inhale, coming all the way up. And then bend the legs, just plant the feet down, hip distance apart, toes pointing forwards. And then just going to scooch the butt all the way up towards the heels and roll all the way down onto your back. From here, it's always nice to finish the class off with a little bit of a back bend. So here we're coming into bridge pose. So I just want you to check in, make sure that you can tickle the back of the heels with your fingertips. So they're not too close towards the hips, but they're not too far away. So you can just tickle the back of the heels. Make sure that the knees aren't falling out wide, but they're actively drawing up towards the ceiling. And then I also want you to make sure you don't turn your head from side to side, so we're just going to protect that neck. From here, we press through those feet, start to lift the hip bones up towards the ceiling, finding this bridge pose. We can walk the shoulder blades underneath the body, and that's just going to puff the chest up a little bit more. If you can interlace the hands. You don't need to. Just want you to feel like you're pressing the back to the arms down to the mat, pressing through those feet, lifting those hip bones nice and high. Again, make sure that you're not moving your head side to side. Inhale here. Exhale to stay. And again, inhale. And exhale. Releasing the hands if you have them interlaced. Then we inhale, come up onto the toes. So lift those heels up. And as we exhale, we roll down the spine, nice and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. all the way down until the hips come down last. And then once we get there, I want to let the left leg go out long, bring the right knee into the chest. Just give it a little squeeze in. Inhaling here. As we exhale, take that knee over towards the left, finding this gentle spinal twist. Feeling this ringing sensation through that lower back, through the core. You can let the right arm go out towards that right hand side. Encouraging that shoulder down towards the ground. Inhale. Exhale, release into this twist. Slowly now coming back through center. And then let the right leg go out long. Bring the left knee into the chest. Give that little squeeze in. Inhale. As we exhale, guiding that knee over towards the right. Again, releasing into this twist. You can let the left arm fall out towards the side. Inhale into the belly. Exhale to stay. And again, inhale. And exhale. Slowly now coming all the way onto your back. And from here we take our final resting pose called Shavasana. I want you to let the legs go out long. You can take them to the corners of the mat. Let the feet fall apart. Arms down by the sides, palms facing up. And I want you to close your eyes. Shavasana is a time to just let all of that work that we've done, all the stretching, the moving, to completely settle in. This is where you get the true benefits of the class. So you want to focus on switching off the mind. You don't need to focus on that breath anymore. Just let the body completely melt away into the ground. Every inch. The muscles relax, release. And let go. Any thoughts that might pop into your head, just acknowledge them and then let them go. Staying with this for just a couple of minutes, and I'll bring you back out. Just slowly start to bring awareness back to the breath. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes. And then gradually start to build that movement back into the body. Circling the wrists, the ankles. Big breath in. You can take your arms up overhead for a full body stretch. And then in your own time, we're going to roll onto your side. Bring the knees into your chest. Keeping those eyes closed. Slowly coming up to a comfortable seated position. then just closing off the class, bring the palms together. Thank you for doing this class with me. Namaste.